Roger, we're having chicken for dinner.
I just love chicken, ma'am.
I know you do. I had Bianca prepare especially for you. We want you to enjoy your stay with us, Roger.
Thank you, ma'am.
You don't have to call me ma'am. Just Mrs. Whitney.
Mrs. Whitney?
Thank you. It's an exciting experiment. When Mr. Whitney first broached it, I'll admit I was a little dubious. But then I realized that I'd be giving a boy a second chance in life, a chance to improve himself. And you will try to improve yourself, won't you, Roger?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Mrs. Whitney. We want to be proud of you, Roger. We'll see if we can't get our church to accept you as a member. You'll be a Presbyterian, Roger. Isn't that nice?
Well, I was raised to be a Baptist, and
You'll be a Presbyterian.
About your schooling, Roger, how far along are you in high school?
I don't go to high school.
We'll give him remedial schooling and then a job training program.
Excellent. This is going to be an exciting summer, Roger. Well, what do you think, Mary Ann? Shall we adopt Roger for the summer?
Have you ever been arrested?
That's an offensive question, Mary Ann.
Yes, little sister, I've been busted by the pigs.
Roger, in our community, the pigs are known as police officers.
Well, where I come from, they're always known as
Police officers.
Police officers.
Why were you arrested, Roger?
Well, I was walking along in a protest march against the Klan, singing the second verse of We Shall Overcome. Black and white together, black and white together.
We know the song, Roger.
And when this man stepped off the sidewalk and hit me over the head with a lead pipe. Well, needless to say, I fell down and he started kicking me, and then the police officers arrested me.
Roger, you must promise to never go on one of those protest marches again or sing that Overcome song again.
Never?
Well, if you feel the urge, you may sing it in the privacy of your own room. Well, Mary Ann, do you approve of Roger?
I think we should ask Dennis first.
Yes.
Who's Dennis?
Dennis Urkel. He's captain of the lacrosse team.
Why do we need Dennis Urkel's approval?
His father is Judge Urkel. He's going to run for Superior Court.
And his chances might be jeopardized if his son's fiancée has him living in the house.
Fiancé?
Mary Ann and Dennis are going together, sort of unofficially engaged.
Mary Ann, don't you think you should inform your father about something as important as an engagement?
I did. I called Daddy in Westport, and he gave me his blessing.
Not that father. Me, your legal father, Walter Whitney, who's clothed, fed, and housed you while that drunk in Westport hasn't even bothered to visit you in 2 years.
Mother, I will not sit here and have Walter slander my father. I just knew he'd cause trouble.
We are all a bit upset. I think perhaps it's best we wait until morning before taking a vote.
Vote? What vote?
On whether to take Roger into our home. We discussed all that, Walter.
I never agreed to a vote. It's our decision, just yours and mine.
Please, Walter, I don't want to argue the point.
I didn't take a vote when I adopted Mary Ann.
She is my natural child. It was the only decent thing to do.
By that logic, if he were my natural son, I'd have every right to expect you, my wife, to accept him.
Don't make ludicrous parallels, Walter.
No, I mean it, Vivian. If Roger were my son, you'd accept him?
Yes, Walter, if he were your son, of course.
All right, Vivian. I will let you be as good as your word. Roger is my son.
I don't find that very amusing, Walter.
Neither do I, but it happens to be a fact.
That can't be. He's,
And so was his mother.
This is really your son?
Yes.
Your natural son?
Yes.
Oh, my God. And to think I was going to let him live here.
You promised to accept him just as I accepted your child.
You tricked me.
Vivian,
Don't
listen.
touch me, Walter. Don't ever touch me again.
You're getting hysterical.
God will never forgive you for having a black child.
How do you know, Vivian? Maybe he'll be pleased. Maybe God is black.
You will burn in hell for saying that, Walter.
Deep in my heart, I do believe.
Will you stop singing that song?
We shall overcome someday. Mr. Charlie, I got a feeling you better start learning the words.
Where's the boy?
In the garage.
Vivian?
Upstairs with Dr. Bristol and Reverend Hayworth.
How is she?
She's under sedation. Reverend Hayworth is praying with her. I even had to give Marianne tranquilizers. I've been the Longhurst family doctor for 40 years. I delivered Vivian, and to see her in this state of shock. You must be a sadist to flaunt a black son in front of her.
I didn't flaunt him. He's not black. He's what interior decorators call hickory bronze. Same color as your new car.
I would just as soon you did not compare that boy to my new car. I no longer consider myself your personal physician, and I would advise you not to get sick in San Marino, Mr. Whitney.
Your father-in-law wants the family to spend the night at his house. I don't see God's book around, Walter.
I'm sorry.
Sorry is for those seeking forgiveness. Are you seeking forgiveness, Walter?
Forgiveness for what, Reverend?
Vivian said you told her that God is black.
I simply posed it as a possibility.
We don't speculate on God's color, Walter. If you ever want Vivian to speak to you again, go upstairs and tell her that God is white.
But we're really not sure. I mean, the Hindus don't believe it, the Muslims, the Buddhists.
God is white. It's simple logic. His son is white.
That's not proof. I'm white, my son is black.
I'll pray for you, Walter.
Companion alla Signora Whitney, amico. Walter, this is the most critical night of your life.
I was beginning to get that feeling.
But one which you can easily survive, provided we proceed with delicacy and good taste.
And Roger is not good taste.
Someday, perhaps, but not at the moment.
Well, when does Roger become fashionable? Who makes those decisions?
People, me, you.
Me?
Have I been wrong all these years in interpreting your silence as approval? It's human. People lean any way the wind blows. The wind blows white, not black. Blows Whitney, not Weisenthal. You must not legally recognize the boy. As long as he is considered illegitimate, society is not threatened. Someday the torch of leadership, of power, will be passed to you. We must feel confident that when your turn comes to pass on the torch, you won't put it in the hands of someone who would burn down the country with it.
Pass on the torch to him? I don't think of Roger as my future. I even resent his being here. But I have a serious problem, Nelson. A flaw in my character. I don't have the sense of commitment or strength or courage to look at him and say, go away, and never happen.
Walter, you were like a son to me. But as you well know, having a son can turn out to be a bitter disappointment.